good, Bob. You see that how close I was to nailing it? Intro, bumper, but we got the wrong. Oh fuck! I'm trying to do it with this. I'm trying to do it with this gimmick. I've got my fucking screen right in front of me. Hello, everyone. Good evening. This is Fed Dead Redemption episode 30, the first episode of 2023. It's back to the old two-man game here, the old school overlay, the whole deal. Look at that. We've even got the little LNG, the gold logo. Jesus, where
that's a throwback.
It is. That doesn't
there
really,
we go.
Is that a good idea or not? I don't know if that works, Bob.
You can kind of still see the other one.
Yeah, fuck it. All right. Except the gold today, folks. How is everyone? We hope you are well. It is Tuesday. It's been quite the time in the World Wrestling Federation since the last time we did these.
Yeah.
If anyone in the world only gets WWE updates via this program, I'm just going to make it clear now, we can't catch you up. It is what it is. Things have changed. You get what you get, I suppose, right? We won't put that at the beginning. But Bob, how are you today, mate?
I'm doing well. This lighting situation kind of looks like shit, but we'll go through it. And
looks like the sun is like right over the top of your shoulder. It's pretty interesting.
It's not great, but you know what? We're going to play through it.
Well, no choice, really, mate. We are indeed. Now, folks, here's the deal. As you can see from the title, we're doing something a little bit different today. We're going to look ahead here. We're in January, so we're about 3 months, just shy of 3 months away now from WrestleMania. And we're going to put together our ideal WrestleMania lineups. And we're going to try and do it night one and night two and really go for it, like have a real creative meeting. But before we do that, I do want to kind of quickly explain why we're doing that non-normal show. But was it fair to say, I don't want to talk for you, but my read on it was you were not desperate to cover the current proceedings considering all that's happened, and also the fact, I don't think you've loved the shows as of late. Where do you stand, Bob?
Yeah, between the behind the scenes stuff and the past few Raws have not really been good for me, and I've enjoyed them for the most part, but yeah, the last couple have kind of been struggling a little bit. They're just kind of marching in place until they get to the Rumble build, which you kind of thought they would have started a little bit more by now. I thought the SmackDown where they had Cena wrestle was very good, and I thought SmackDown last week was very good too. But yeah, Raw just it's not like, it's unwatchable. It's very boring.
Yeah. Do you think the extended pay-per-view gap, the extended pay-per-view build has been an issue for them in terms of Raw, especially having the extra hour? I mean, 8 episodes of Raw in between papes is kind of challenging, right?
Yeah, because they haven't really done anything like to make it feel different. Like they did Becky and Bayley, that's a big match, and they had a good match. I like that. But as far as like, there hasn't really been like a big men's thing. Like, I know they've still been doing the Theory and Seth stuff, but if you don't care about that, then you're kind of screwed on that end.
Indeed, I can confirm. Ben asked, Bob, I don't watch the Fed. Can you break down current Fiend lore for me? Can you actually try to do this? Because I genuinely don't understand what's going on.
I guess, so Uncle Howdy's a real person and attacked Bray last week, but that's the first development we've really got, and now Alexa's back involved with it, which is unfortunate, but it's a whole lot of just nothing really happening. Bray comes out and says the same stuff every week, and which has been a bummer, because when he came back at Extreme Rules in that first promo back on SmackDown, we all kind of hoped it would be something a little different, and then he just went right back to the same stuff.
Well, not about we all, but hope is fair. No, I hope, but Bob, God bless him, man. I don't know if I'm not going to say he has bad ideas. He doesn't. His ideas go over huge, but when you're trying to channel them into wrestling, it seems to be really difficult for him. I don't know.
His ideas get over with people who already like them, but as far as getting new people to like them, that's been a struggle.
It also has to eventually end up in a wrestling match. And it's we'll see what this pitch black business is, but this has, catastrophe written all over it. This isn't, again, we'll see. Hopefully it turns out good. I like LA Knight an awful lot, and I'll be happy for Bray if it did turn out well, but it's hard to be confident about this stipulation from the outside looking in, Bob, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, on one hand, I don't think he's very good in the ring, so it helps that this will kind of hide that, but at some point you can't hide it, and you have to have an actual match, and that's what you said when he came in too. And they've hit it for this long, but I know he's working the house shows. I haven't heard if he's good or bad on those, or what exactly those matches entail. But I haven't really been a fan of his from an in-ring perspective since the Bryan stuff. Well, the Fiend Bryan stuff was good, but the Bryan stuff when Bryan
the original Bryan stuff.
Yeah.
2014, 14, right?
Yeah,
January,
so
February. Yeah, it's been a while.
it's a problem.
It is. I think there's an audience for that stuff, and I think it's still over with that audience. So
Mhm.
God bless. As far as Alexa, like I think she obviously wants to be involved, so good for her. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's where she would like to be at this point, and it seems that's where they're headed. I saw her promo. Monty sent it to me, and she was kind of good promo, and then the Howdy stuff. And I just don't. It's one of those things that I just go, fair enough. Like, I obviously don't get it. I
Mhm.
would like it to result in some good professional wrestling matches and or segments at some point. That might be my request, but I also don't watch closely enough to kind of
Yeah.
critique wildly. It is what it is to me. I do want to ask you, Bob, like for your enthusiasm and excitement about the product, show quality aside, does the Vince thing affect that for you? Like, is it hard to be as optimistic with the Vince cloud hanging over the promotion?
Um, I mean, it's only been what SmackDown and then Raw since he's like been back in the fold, and I
Yeah.
thought SmackDown was just kind of as it usually is, and Raw was kind of just as it usually is too. So
Mm-hmm.
like, not really. Like if you stop and think about it for a while, then yeah, probably. But if you're just like, I'm gonna watch this show and not focus on the other
Right.
stuff, then yeah, not really. But I mean, that could change depending if he gets a bigger role or whatever.
I just think there's an uncertainty that comes with it, right? Like
Yeah.
there's this sort of sense that each step you're taking now may not be important at all.
Mhm.
Whereas before, whether you like the Triple H shows or not, there was an idea that he had like a long term goal or vision or hope. Speaking of such, probably the biggest story of today. McMahon business aside was Jay White. The Fightful Select had the report that his time in Japan is winding down, and the belief is he's headed to the States. That again, the belief is it was not like he
Yeah.
signed anywhere. And I believe the sentence was the WWE are very confident, which I don't think is a surprise to anyone. Does the Vince story become relevant to you there? Because as a fan of Jay White, it certainly became relevant to me. It was like that feels like a very different thing that he would be signing up for than what I would have said a month ago.
Yeah, I think so. Because like if he comes in under Triple H, I think he's probably in almost a Cody spot where he's like, he doesn't go through NXT. He's got the top like
Yep.
feud on Raw or whatever right away, and that's not necessarily a certainty under Vince. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I guess you just have to hope that Vince doesn't get back with creative. I don't necessarily believe that'll be true. I know legally he can't, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's ways around that.
Certainly. I think legitimately, and I'm not saying this to try and frame Triple H as creative genius. Everyone who watches this show knows what I think. I think he's solid and safe, but not particularly inspiring or creative. I think if Jay White signs for Triple H's WWE, he's like an absolute lock to be a world champ. Like, and I would bet my house on it. The issue is we don't know if it's going to be Triple H's WWE. So, that makes things very, very shaky. In terms of just talent, there's no doubt in my mind about what Jay White can do. I mean, he's
Mhm.
spectacular. He could do it all. Talking about a guy who's like a great promo, can have great matches, has a great look, seems to be in a really how do I put this, Bob? Honestly, part of it for me is he seems so switched off from the game, and he's not someone who I think would like really struggle with the way they present their wrestlers and the kind of attention that comes with that.
Yeah.
You don't see Jay White like dunking on confirm shoot on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? Like I think
Mhm.
he's someone who's really well adjusted and is ready to be a top star and actually be kind of like a fucking face of the brand. Honestly, I think he's that polished of a personality and wrestler. So he's money. I don't think there's too much you can pay for him within reason, of course.
Mhm.
I'd imagine there'll be a big bidding war. Again, as a fan, it would certainly be nice if he was entering Triple H's WWE and not Vince McMahon's. But we'll see how it kind of unfolds because I'm still also a little bit hesitant. I'm still not quite convinced he's leaving, frankly.
Fair.
But we shall see. Quick question here before we get into our main topic of the day. Are they doing Bianca and Alexa at the Rumble? I don't watch Raw anymore. I don't think it's announced, but it seems to be where they're headed, right, Bob?
Yeah, because I mean, it's not announced for next week either. So, like, I don't think they just add that in the middle of the week. And I don't think they'll do it on Raw 30 because they're going to have so much other stuff like Final Rumble preparations plus, segments for whoever they get to show up for it. And it's not going to get the time on Raw 30, I don't think. So, yeah, I would imagine it's going to the Rumble.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting because thus far it's not really about Bianca at all, which is a
Mm-hmm.
choice. Um, my question to that would be why? Because I mean, we do a lot of bits regarding the famed Lexi all caps, but what is her? I guess we'll get into this in a minute. What is her like presumed WrestleMania endgame? Whereas by contrast, Bianca is almost certainly going to be in a big time match at WrestleMania. Yeah. So it's like you kind of sit and wonder, like, why would you focus so much of the feud on Alexa in January when you're headed to WrestleMania here very, very shortly? Like that part is jarring to me. Do you have any read on that at all? Because it's confusing to me.
No, not really. Like she was someone that I struggled to come up with a match for on when we were doing these WrestleMania cards, just because like the thing she's tied to is on a different show, so I don't know if she'll just jump over and they'll do a mixed tag or whatever. But or I've seen a couple people be like, oh, maybe she'll win the Rumble and jump over and face Charlotte, which that's a way to get her to SmackDown. But like,
I don't know
how that match would look with both of them aligned how they are right now and all that.
Yeah, I'd avoid that. Yeah, I don't know. So just to be clear before we get into this, have you done like your preferred Mania card or like what you assume is going to happen? Because we can do both. I'm just intrigued.
Yeah, it's kind of a mix of both.
Okay, well, we'll talk it through. But you mentioned it. I think there's a pretty now that you've brought up like mixed tag. I think we both know where it's going now. You think.
Well, it's just the problem with that. Like, it's hard to find a pairing for them unless you do Cross and Scarlet, which
it's absolutely going to be Cross and Scarlet. Come on, bro. They're obviously going to be on Mania, and that's the match that everyone asks for on Twitter, which is what Triple H's booking always is.
Yeah, because I
Triple
thought
H's booking is like at WWE Fan 12's fantasy booking on television.
I thought you could do like Bray and Alexa against Beth and Edge, but I guess they're doing Beth and Edge against Rhea and Finn at Elimination Chamber, perhaps, is the rumor at the moment. So I don't think they do mixed tags twice in a row that.
I don't know, I think I'd rather the Cross feud just because I think that one would be like kind of funny. Edge would turn that shit into like a fucking motion picture. Could you imagine?
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Imagine Edge doing not a moment of bliss. What was it called? The playground talking segment.
Oh yeah. I think it was just Alexa's Playground or whatever.
Yeah, which was a Triple H invention. Did you know that?
Yes, I did actually.
That's like, I don't mean that as a dunk. I know everyone took that as a dunk, but that like actually pops me, the idea of him coming up with that. Like the idea of him, the guy who fucking signed like every indie wrestler ever, turn up the TV and be like, let's get a fucking playground in here. Huh? Let's change it up a little bit. But nonetheless, let's get to it. Now, here's what I'm going to do, Bob, because I see you're prepared, as you always are. You're a pro. I think the best way to do this is to go through the big names and talk it over as a committee chat. You are part of our committee here. Within reason. Don't insult us. Well, you insult Oracle. He's not here. And we'll kind of slowly piece this together. Hopefully, won't be here all night. I don't want this to be like one of those WCW booking committee meetings, Bob. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But nonetheless, let's start with the obvious headliner, the tribal chief, the double champion, Roman Reigns. Now, I know where you're going here, Bob. You're looking for the double dip here, aren't you?
Yes.
You are? Okay.
I still am, yeah.
Now, is there any names you would like to kick around beyond Cody and Dwayne The Rock Johnson of Black Adam fame?
No, I don't think so. I think it's virtually locked to be one of those two, if not both of them.
Okay. Now, is this, we did this before. We talked about Sammy, and I know you got very aggressive and subtweeted me in your Twitter circle. Is this because you have got them penciled in for the role alongside Kevin opposite the Usos?
Yes.
All right. Now, you're very bullish on this. Has my constant whining and complaining at all affected your confidence that this could work, this double booking thing? Because you seem to never waver. I respect it on some level, but I mean, is there any hesitation at all before we proceed here?
I mean, honestly, the only part that I've wavered on is maybe they won't end up with The Rock and it'll just be Roman against Cody for both titles, and they'll split them up at some point over the summer instead.
I have to ask you a question, Bob, as a friend. Do you want to see that Rock match? I mean, that doesn't mean you can't book it, but do you actually want to see it?
Not really. Like, I mean, the first Cena match was good. The Punk match was good, but these are also both like 10 years ago at this point. The second Cena match was bad. He can't really cut a promo anymore. He's becoming very weird. Yeah, I'm fine without him. I'm more happy to see Stone Cold show up.
All right, well, let's transition to that. We'll pencil in the Rock match, the Roman matches for now, because I know it means a lot to you. This is one of the most interesting things to me. Steve Austin's wrestling at WrestleMania.
Yes.
You know, that seems clear. The question is, who the hell is he wrestling? Because I don't think that's clear at all. I have no idea where they're going. Kevin Owens was a a perfect fit in a lot of ways, but finding the successors that the sequel to that is, I think, very, very difficult. Bob, what do you think for Steve Austin?
I originally put Rollins, but they're kind of turning him babyface, so that'd be weird. They're having him, the crowd sing his song and all that. They're encouraging that, so it might just be as simple as a guy like Corbin, or I guess Ziggler's a babyface now. But yeah, Corbin, you do a couple weeks of JBL Stone Cold promos and let it rip, man.
Baron Corbin?
Yeah.
Baron Corbin.
He was on TV last night. They're heating him up, man.
Bob, there has to be something else for Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I mean, they could just do Austin Cena, too. People have talked about Austin Brock, which doesn't seem like a great idea. But Austin Cena could be good.
All right, is Brock wrestling Lashley again? Is that what's happening on that? Or
I still think it's Gunther.
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry, my apologies.
It feels like Lashley should be at the Rumble, but they haven't really. I mean, they brought Lashley back last night, but they haven't done anything with Brock. But he's on the poster. It feels like you'd want to do that match one more time there, and then transition him into something else. But maybe there's leaving it open to do it a third time.
Can Austin not wrestle Bob? Lashley,
that's a good one too. He could.
None of these fit right, do they?
That's the thing.
Like lock,
Yeah. He could wrestle Theory, I guess, but that's not something that I think anyone wants to see either.
No, I'm good. I'm good on that for sure. I guess it's Cena, because I think Cena's alternative is Logan Paul, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't put Logan Paul on because he might be canceled again at the moment. But we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Famously,
that keeps people off the WrestleMania card.
That's true.
I look forward to seeing Vince's vision for this show. I'll be honest, this idea doesn't really work for me, but I'm looking at the alternatives, and it feels like we should just do Steve Austin and John Cena.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really think it's like a natural fit at all, but it is a dream match. I would have my concerns about it from a quality point of view, just to be totally transparent. I think Cena's not in a place where he can lead that and steer that ship, but
no, but I think the crowd will be into it no matter what they do, as long as it's passable and they just kind of play the hits.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think you have Cena lean heel for the build or something? How do you build that fucking thing?
Yeah, I mean, you almost have to, because you're not going to get him to boo Austin. And, I know they're not going to boo Cena, but, he can be more of a dick at least. I mean, they can both be dicks to each other, but, Cena's got some stuff, I guess, about how, Stone Cold left and Cena never did. I don't know, there's avenues you could take.
For sure. No, yeah, I think it could be compelling. I mean, you certainly would trust those guys promo-wise, right?
Yeah.
To deliver interesting stuff. There's something, odd about that matchup. In 2023 especially. It's just a weird one, but it's a big match. So right now we have Roman and Cody, Roman and Rock, Austin and Cena, and we've also put Brock and Gunther down, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Let's look on the female side now, women's division. Bianca Belair, Bob, what are you thinking?
I would put her against a Royal Rumble winning Rhea Ripley at the moment.
Okay, now there are a lot of different rumors about the women's title scenes, right? And where we're going, because Charlotte's kind of what's the obvious match for Charlotte? Are we still doing Becky and Ronda?
So.
Well, yeah, this is the thing. The issue we have here is that the natural match for Bianca is Charlotte Flair.
Yes.
But she could wrestle Rhea, and I think we'd all be more happy with that. Problem is, if Charlotte doesn't wrestle Bianca, I have no idea who Charlotte wrestles. Now, that doesn't bother me or you. I mean, she could be in the Snickers Battle Royale for all I care. But Charlotte is going to be on WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And my question to you would be, are there more interesting alternatives for Rhea than there are for Charlotte? And if so, should Charlotte get the Bianca match for this particular moment in time? Now, I don't mind. I'm just intrigued by what you think.
Yeah, it's interesting because then I imagine you got to put the belt on Rhea at some point, and then have Bianca jump over or win the Rumble, or put the belt on Alexa and have Bianca win the Rumble.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, and Naomi's a good one for Charlotte if she is coming back. That's a big match for her, and I think they've worked well together in the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you look at the rest of the SmackDown roster, like, it's tough.
Hold up, Bob. Hold up a second, mate. Hold up 1 second, Bob. Fill me some dead air. Stephanie McMahon has resigned.
Oh, God. Okay, well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Any reaction to that, Bob? Fucking hell. It was a week ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. I just wanted to do a nice show and, touch base, get the WWF show out of the way, and we're cursed again. It's like when we would do a show and there'd be releases every week last year, we'd be on the air for them.
Bro, like, we've spoken about this privately. This shit is going to get so bad.
Yeah.
Like, I totally get why. It's funny on like a very surface level. But when you remember that most professional wrestling fans just see it as like, oh, it's just WWE,
Mm-hmm.
This thing could fucking implode, bro. I mean, I find this to be a somewhat ominous time, personally. I don't know what you think, but
it's not great. It's getting worse by the day, pretty much. Yeah.
Go ahead. My bad.
I mean, you'd really rather none of this happen. When Vince was gone, we all kind of thought that it was a permanent thing, hopefully. And now here we are again.
Yeah, and look, I think, I'm not here to do like everything was going so great. Like, I don't really care about the wrestling quality. I think objectively wrestling is in a better place without that dude around. It's bad, and on every which way. Like, there's a difference between people that objectively are questionable or not necessarily good people and people that are Vince. I'd rather him not be in wrestling. Ultimately, the many Fed Dead pops that we have. I mean, the show's called Fed Dead Redemption. It's like the people that would actually be affected by the worst case scenarios here are not him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he'll still be fine financially. I mean, he's a piece of shit, and he'll be kind of shamed if it continues to go the way it is, and honestly, he should be already. Unfortunately, people are oblivious to these things. But it's the fucking wrestlers and the staff and the crew. They're the ones that are going to suffer for these changes right now, because this is, like, I said it on WrestleMania, and I saw Dave said the same thing. It's obviously not rocket science. I'm not saying I'm broke some story or anything, but I know there is concern internally about, like, the cuts are coming back.
Well, yeah, how could you not be?
Yeah, exactly. And the morale is like a big talking point today because it was very different TV, and everyone is looking over their shoulder again and is on thin ice, and it's just not good. It makes things like this a lot less fun, and I don't really know, just to be totally honest, Bob, as we kind of bring a halt to this program for a moment. I don't really know the correct way of handling these things, to be totally honest. Do you? I mean, I think doing the wrestling talk of it's fun, and me coming on here and being like, well, Jay White's chances of getting a big push a bit, or like, realistically, it all feels kind of irrelevant, doesn't it? When you're really talking about what the story is here. I mean,
because it's like you said earlier, like, none of this might matter by the time it rolls around anyway. But like you said, the human element too. Like, everyone's worried, and I get it. And like, I think as a fan too, like, it's okay to be a little worried too. Like this, I know everyone on Twitter, when you do the bootlegger stuff or whatever, I get it. But like, it's a big part of everyone's life, and for better or worse. And it's okay to be a little concerned about what's going to happen with it.
Look, man, I mean, ultimately, it's not good for professional wrestling if this thing goes poorly. I mean, I honestly think with each day the positive outcomes dwindle, because it looks like a fucking mess. Again, my personal fandom on a sort of on like a loose level. It's like, well, I don't watch the shows necessarily, so what does it matter to me? But it's like it's just bad for wrestling. WWE employs how many fucking people in the wrestling business? You know, it's like I'm not saying it's going to die. To be clear, folks, we have no idea where this is going to go. I just think there are certain scenarios that could like legitimately damage the industry, and that's concerning to me. So I don't know. I guess we'll return to our regularly scheduled program, but Stephanie has posted and deleted a statement. Okay, well, I was going to read the statement, but if it's been deleted, I can no longer do that. All right, well, I guess we'll circle back to. Yeah, she's deleted it. It said, "Dear WWE Universe," here we go, Bob. We're doing this like we're on television now. About 8 months ago, I took a leave of absence, and within a few weeks, unexpectedly had the opportunity of a lifetime. I had the privilege to return as the co-CEO and chairwoman of the board of WWE. I cannot put into words how proud I am to have led what I consider to be the greatest company in the world. Working alongside a remarkable leadership team, one of the strongest executives I have known, my co-CEO, Nick Khan. Our founder, Vince McMahon, has returned as executive chair and is leading an exciting process regarding strategic alternatives. And with Nick's leadership and Paul, Triple H Levesque, as chief content officer, I am confident WWE is in the perfect place to continue to provide unparalleled creative content and drive maximum value for shareholders. WWE is in such a strong position that I have decided to return to my leave and take it one step further with my official resignation. I look forward to cheering on WWE from the other side of the business, where I started when I was a little kid as a pure fan. I will always remain dedicated to WWE. I truly love our company, our employees, our superstars, and our fans. I'm grateful to all of our partners. I believe she left like a spelling gimmick in there. Is probably going to repost it with that. No. Thank you for everything. Then, now, forever together, Steph. So, I mean, as you'd expect, it was a somewhat, how would you phrase it? I guess it was, sort of very PR positive way to post statement, as you'd expect. She's not going to be like, this place is fucked, goodbye. What do you think, Bob? How much stock, how much weight should one put into this in terms of its relevance in the overall story regarding where Triple H is headed, so on and so forth?
Yeah, it feels very big. I think Triple H, will stay there because he is technically the head of creative at the moment, but it's not great. If you're, especially if you don't want Vince to come out on top here, which I don't think anyone really does. It's alarming.
It is. For the sake of everyone's entertainment, we're going to continue with our previous plans. We're going to just do this WrestleMania gimmick. We are aware that there are more interesting things going on. I'm sure people are going to go live and discuss it. They're more educated on it than us, so we understand if you want to check that out. But for now, we'll continue as. What other matches could we do for Rhea, Bob, where we can slide Charlotte into the Bianca spot? Could Rhea wrestle? What about Rhea and Becky? Do that one.
Yeah, she could. I guess either Becky or Bayley, because I have Becky and Bayley as a match right now. So either one of those two could work. I know Bayley's a heel, so that could. But yeah, Rhea and Becky could be good. And I don't know that they've ever done that.
They kind of teased it a couple of times, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, what Bayley and Becky feels like it's too. You have too far, to get to Mania.
That's true.
Maybe you can pull it off. I don't know what we do with Bayley. We'll circle back to that. I'm currently thinking that we do. Oh, fuck, Ronda. Do we have anything for Ronda, Bob?
I don't think they're going to do Ronda and Becky. Maybe Ronda and Shayna. They'd enjoy working together. It'd be a big enough match.
Man, I don't know. Because Ronda's going to be on there, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you did like a tag title match with Shayna versus someone. I don't really know who necessarily. I'm currently feeling for the title matches. I'm feeling Bianca and Charlotte, Rhea and Becky personally. That's my fair. Personal read. Are you against that? Do you object? Do you co-sign?
No, I think that's fine. It's just a matter of when do you get the title onto Rhea. But I mean, they have 3 months to figure that out. They got Elimination Chamber and all that. So
probably in the chamber, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do? I understand why there's like Charlotte fatigue. Trust me, I know, I'm aware.
Yeah.
I've experienced it. I just think if you take Bianca off the board for Charlotte, I don't know what match you can come up with for her. Like, I just don't think there's any compelling matches. But I think with Rio, if she's not wrestling Bianca, the Becky match is still a big time match. I mean, I think that's like a genuine marquee match. So
Yeah.
I like those. We need to figure out something for Bayley because she's not someone we can just put in the tag match because they have a tag team in Damage Control. We need like a program. Maybe Asuka. Maybe. I'm looking
That'd be
here.
good.
What do we think Asuka's going to do when she comes back, Bob?
Do you think she's coming back as a heel? Because she was teasing it for a little bit there.
I don't know. Yeah, she was teasing some sort of like spookiness, right?
Yeah.
I guess it probably in a lot of ways it makes sense for him as a heel. The only problem is you've just sent Alexa too, so it's like you just flip that whole act. And I don't think they're going to be a team necessarily. I'm looking at Liv's probably going to be in the tag match again, isn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, Liv and Tegan. They've been teaming
I think
up.
we do. Fuck, you know what you could do though, and this is a little bit harsh on Bayley, but I think you'll get where I'm going. What if instead we have Bayley and Dakota as the team, and we do Io and Asuka? That would add something different to the card. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, folks. Again, this is a mix of somewhat feasible things, but mostly we're popping ourselves here. Bear with us. We'll circle back to the tag title match. So right now this is across 2 nights. We'll try and split them here momentarily. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns and The Rock, Steve Austin, John Cena, Brock Lesnar and Gunther, Bianca Belair versus Charlotte, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, Asuka versus Io Sky. I mean, a good match. I mean, it's a weird card because there's so many like part-time, especially on the male side, right? It's weird. Okay. Seth freaking Rollins. Now, he has been wrestling Theory for what feels like the last 4 years.
Yes.
My mind immediately heads towards Finn because he's turning babyface is Seth. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that'd be good. I couldn't really figure anything out for him. I had Austin, but he's turning babyface. I don't really want him to face Theory or Lashley again. But he's obviously a guy that you need to give a fairly decently big match to. So, yeah, I think him and Finn could have a good match.
And him and Finn could have like one of those, like, the kind of classic WrestleMania mid-card match. You give them some time and they try and tear out. I think they would have a really good match, to be clear. I think that's a logical place for Finn. Did you have anything else for Finn before we kind of lock that in?
No, I mean, I put like maybe Judgment Day against Hurt Business, but I think they're doing Ray against Dominic, so it wouldn't really match up anyway. So
there you go. All right, yeah, Priest can be at ringside for that. That's a little unfair on him, but it's WrestleMania, it's hard.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking here. Whether we like it or not, Theory is going to be featured somewhere on this thing. What do we do with Jack Crosby's favorite wrestler, Austin Theory?
I don't know if you just do like a multi-man match for the U.S. title, but like pretty much everyone's already gotten a shot at it in the past few months. But like you do him, Ali,
Chad Gable or some shit.
Gable,
I don't know.
Maybe put Lashley in there. If it feels like Lashley should be doing something bigger, but like,
well, let's try and kind of have a look at that. Bob Lash. What do we do with Bob Lash? Let's have a look at what he could. Try interesting things he could do. They're just really thin on top guys, man. It's hard.
Yeah. Because like a third Brock match makes sense, but I kind of want to see Brock and Gunther more.
What about I know this is kind of a strange one. What about Edge?
Yeah.
What did you have for Edge? To remind me, did you say? I forget.
For Edge, I had let me see here. Edge, I couldn't think of an opponent. So actually, Lashley would be very good. I
mean, it's like it feels. I was going to say it's like a generational clash, but Bob was there in like fucking 05.
Yeah.
It's a big match in terms of like its name value, I guess. Right? I don't know how good it would be, but I think that's okay, and you could do a kind of simple build with that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Now I'm looking else for on Raw. So we also have KO and Sammy versus the Usos, correct?
Yes.
All right. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have like 10 matches, I believe. I'm not the best mathematics, but I believe that's where we're at. I like the Willie's comment about the Rumble. Bianca and Alexa should be on the screen for legitimately around 30 minutes now. Okay. I've already said it, and I know that it scared Bob, but at this point, fuck it. I think we actually have to do the Alexa Bray Cross Scarlet thing.
They do.
I mean, the Alexa and Bray can win in like 6 minutes or whatever, but like, come on. You need something for the spooky folks. What else are we going to do with them? Let's be honest about it here.
It's true.
At least in that match, you can find the spookiness. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right. God, there's a lot of injuries here. On the old Wikipedia gimmick, it has Orton, Rude, and R-Truth, and all three of them are inactive for injuries. It's fucking brutal. Ciampa? I forgot about Ciampa.
Yep. Gargano's hurt now.
Yeah. Is Gargano going to be back in time?
It seems like it. I don't know what he's going to do. Maybe he'll be in that U.S. title multi-man.
Ideally, you could do something with... Yeah, I guess hard because the Usos got both belts. Never mind. All right.
That's been a weird thing, too, because they only talked about the Raw belts last night, but, like, I don't get why you'd split them before Mania and before you split the main title.
Mm-hmm. What do we do with Solo Sikoa? The chat's talking about him a little bit. He's obviously factored into the bloodline stuff, but is there like a singles thing, program we can come up with for him, or is there something? So can he do something with Drew or Sheamus or one of those fellas?
Yeah, I think him and Drew would be very good. I liked his match with Sheamus a couple weeks ago. They could run that back as well, but like, yeah, I have no problem with Solo against Drew. Solo's very good, and he should have a featured match on the card.
Okay, so if we do Solo and Drew, what does that mean for the Brutes? Do they work like Legado or some shit in the trios?
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I'm trying. I don't know what the best.
Unless you want to just do the Brutes against the Hurt Business, just an inter-promotional. Yeah, why not? That sounds fun.
Whoa, that was a big idea just for a airball. That was a little aggressive. I mean, that sounds like some real graps.
Yeah,
the Hurt Business versus the Brawling Brutes. But then what do we do with Edge?
Yeah.
Who can Edge wrestle? I'm looking here. Braun Strowman. Edge and Theory. Okay, we're cooking. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Sure.
There's a match that I can miss. All right. So we have Solo and Drew. We have the Brutes versus Hurt Business. Bob, was that ad-lib or was that on your notes?
No, that was ad-libbed.
Unbelievable. Finally know what it's like to have Greg Gagne, folks. Okay. I'm looking here. The SmackDown Women's Division. Who needs to be booked?
Well, they got that tag match and they got the Battle Royal, so...
Yeah, we'll do we'll lock in the tag match in a minute, but I don't think there's anyone that needs a singles match. Raw, I think we're covered. The one thing with the male tag team situation is they're all going to be in the Battle Royal because of the Usos double title thing. Again, unless you split them, but it's like...
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do it. Do you expect them to split those belts out of interest?
At some point, but probably not now.
Because like Gable and Otis really deserve something better than just the Battle Royal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really you could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not even like you could just put all the tag teams in a match because they do that on Raw all the time.
I mean, I guess you could do it. I was going to say you could do it on the pre-show. They don't really do pre-shows anymore, do they?
No.
That's a shame. I feel like I should have... Like, can they do something with... Fuck. New Day? New Day are not... I mean, I know they're in NXT right now, but they're probably going to be... They're probably going to be expected to be on fucking WrestleMania, right? I would assume.
Yeah, I would imagine.
They did a thing on Raw. Yeah, this... I think Bob just was mentioning this, right? That it's for the belts, the Raw belts only.
Yeah.
All right, so this based on that, let's work on the assumption the Judgment are actually going to fucking win the Raw belts. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've got Finn booked elsewhere. Who can we then put the belts on from Raw so then we can have a Raw tag title match of some ilk? Judgment, so let's say Judgment Day win them next week. Then do we go to the Profits? Do we go to the Great Brothers? Do we go to Whoever else the fuck is on this show. Bronson Reed and The Miz.
You go the Profits. They haven't really had a Raw title reign in quite some time, and they're very good.
Okay, so Raw tag title match. We're separating the tag belts, folks. Okay, we've got the Profits. We've got the Great Brothers. We've got who did we just say a moment ago? My bad. I'm forgetting who we had. We had another team. Otis and Gable, which was the whole point of doing this. Otis and Gable. And then is there another team, or should we actually legitimately put Miz and Bronson Reed in this fucking thing?
I guess if Gargano and Ciampa are both healthy, you put them back together, pop everyone. Right. But yeah.
Well, let's write them down, and then we'll just we'll make a note, Bob. We need to prepare. We need to see how close we are with this thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bronson and Miz getting a Mania payday, brother. Works for me. Okay. Is there anyone else from Raw that needs featuring, Bob? From your wise eye?
I don't think so. AJ's a question mark at the moment because his foot's broken.
Yeah. Dom's working Ray. I should write that down.
Yeah, Dom and Ray.
Okay.
No, other than that, I think we have everyone accounted for.
Riddle, I think, is for different reasons in that question mark lane with AJ, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be certain he's working that show. I could be completely wrong. I just wouldn't personally be certain. Okay. SmackDown. We'll do it again. We'll do the women's tag title match in a moment. We'll pick who we're doing. Is there anything we can do with Braun Strowman? Is there anything you want to do with Braun Strowman? That's probably the better question.
Not particularly. I'm sure he'll be on there, or he'll just be in the Battle Royal again.
Braun Strowman versus LA Knight. Bob, your thoughts?
I guess so.
Braun Strowman versus Ricochet.
They just did that. Or no, they didn't.
They did a
couple weeks ago.
They did, but they're like babyface friends now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they could do, because Ricochet is going to be on the card somewhere, too. I guess it really matters if Gunther still has the Intercontinental title. And if he's facing Brock, I don't think it'll be for the title, because why does Brock need that title?
But, yeah, true.
Because you could, I guess, have Braun beat Gunther for the title this week. I wouldn't do it, but then Braun's the Intercontinental
that'd be a choice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Or maybe, that's the Elimination Chamber match for the Intercontinental title and someone wins it that way. I don't know. SmackDown has enough guys where you can just kind of throw them anywhere on the card and they'll put out a good match, which is nice.
Yeah. I think, because I know Braun and Ricochet are paired on TV, so I just think it was a natural, them splitting. And I also think Ricochet has actually been a worthwhile project for them in recent months.
Yeah.
They've rebuilt him, and he hasn't let them down in ring by any means. So I think that's where I would go. If you have a major objection to Braun Strowman versus Ricochet, then I'll concede. But I would like us to work it on the card, Bob. I'd like to agent that one.
That's fine.
Okay. Now the women's tag title match. Okay, so we have Dakota and Bayley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I apologize to all very understandable Bayley fans. I just was trying to make the balance of the card. Her and Asuka felt very familiar,
Yeah.
Dakota and Bayley, Liv and Tegan, Ronda and Shayna.
Mm-hmm.
Who else have we got in that women's division? Who's Raquel with these days? Raquel's actually quite good, in fairness.
They could do Raquel and Shotzi in that match. They've been teaming a little bit.
Okay.
That's 4 teams. It's probably
that's fine. Yeah. All right, here we go. Now, night 1, you're doing the Rock match, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Roman and Rock is on WrestleMania, night 1. Now, I think we would be very smart to pair that with the women's title match that we're more confident of being really good. We have Rhea and Becky. We have Bianca and Charlotte. Which of those do you think is a better combo deal with the Roman Rock spectacle, quote unquote?
Probably Rhea and Becky.
Okay. We have Rhea and Becky on the board for night 1. All right, so night 2, with that in mind, we're going to go Roman and Cody.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do Bianca and Charlotte, correct?
Yep.
Where are we putting Steve Austin? Are we going to avoid him and Rock on the same night? Are we going to split them, or are we going to go for it and have the fucking full 2000 grin on night one or
Yeah,
some
you'd
shit?
probably put Austin on night 2.
Yeah. And he was on night one last year, and I think it was kind of hard to top that for a
Yeah.
pop. So, also, him and Cena and Roman and Rock are like the 2 biggest matches on the weekend, right, on our card. So we could split those. Okay, Austin and Cena and Roman and Cody both headed to night 2 alongside Bianca and Charlotte. Brock versus Gunter. The one thing that I want to call it a safe bet and a lot. I mean, I think it will be good. I don't know the ceiling of the match in regards to, compared to the floor, just because you never know quite what Brock's going to do.
Yeah.
You know? There's a big part of me that's hesitant in having 2 of our 3 big matches on night 1 be a Rock match and a Brock match in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Not because Brock's washed, but because he's Brock and he may just show up and be like, well, fuck this, But I feel like if we put it on night 2, night 1 will be kind of undercooked, right?
Yeah, I think you could do it on night 1. You put it in like that 3rd or 4th spot where the crowd's still kind of fired up and you don't have a super high expectation, though, in case it goes poorly.
Okay, so the big 3 on night 1 is Roman and Rock, Rhea and Becky, Brock and Gunter.
Mm-hmm.
Night 2, it's Roman and Cody, Bianca and Charlotte, Austin, Cena.
Yep.
Okay. I'm looking at the next one. It's like okay, this is an interesting one. Where do we put KO and Sammy versus the Usos? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because do you want Roman to go into night 2 with the Bloodline having lost that match, or do you do it all on night 2?
Yeah, because I think you haven't beat The Rock, and then night 2 is where it all kind of starts falling apart for them.
Yeah. Because let's be honest, the guy who won't lose a fight scene in a movie is going to need some protection to do a job. So you're probably going to need the Usos in the finish of night 1, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
So night 2, which is looking pretty strong right now, gets Kevin and Sammy opposite the Usos. Right. And we need to give night 1 something here, Bobby. We need to give it something. I'm looking in the direction of Seth and Balor, Asuka and Io. For night 1 matches. Any preference, or should we just put both on there?
You can put both on there. I think Seth and Finn could open night 1 and it'd be excellent.
Okay. Night 1 now looks like this. Roman, Rock, Rhea, Becky, Brock, Gunter, Asuka and Io, and Finn, Seth. Night 2, Roman, Cody, Bianca, Charlotte, Austin, Cena, Kevin and Sammy versus the Usos. All right. Where are we putting, elephant in the room here, folks, where are we putting the Spookfest Spectacular, the Spooktacular, I should say, with the Fiend, the Fiendess, and Shit Sid and Scarlet?
That could be night 2.
Yeah, night 2 is already, it looks like all hits. Here it comes, folks. There you go. Alexa and Bray versus Cross and Scarlet. Typing these words is painful for me, I must say. It'll be fine. Well, how was the Emma Scarlet business, Bob?
It was okay. They kept it short, but just hearing that match was crazy.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be a singles match at first, and then it was a mixed tag, which is a little bit better. But even then, I only like Riddick Moss out of those 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Understandable. Very much so. When Moss is the shining light, it's a challenge, it's difficult. Theory and Edge.
Probably night 1.
Yeah.
It's going to go way too long as well.
Yeah, I think we might want to. I think that may be another bullet for night 2 to take. To be honest, they were kind of cooking with. I think we may have to slide that in there again.
That's fair.
Okay, Fury and Edge goes alongside Alexa and Bray versus Cross and Scarlet. All right. Okay, Solo and Drew Mack. Now Solo is going to win that match, I assume.
Yes.
We should put that on night 1 because the Bloodline's falling apart. Kind of happens on night 2, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That wouldn't need too long either, right? 10 minutes? Be fine.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
We have Edge and Finn. No, Finn's wrestling Seth freaking Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
I may have misread it. It's my apologies. Okay. The Brawling Brutes versus the Hurt Business, which is perhaps your most inspired piece of booking here, Bobby. Do you have any preference as to where it goes? We haven't got any tags on night one yet, so
yeah, we could put it on night one.
we've
Probably
got
put the women's tag on night one as well.
Yeah, I guess we have the Raw tag title match too, right? But
yeah,
I mean that's not going to be like a big attraction. I think the splitting the trios with the big Kevin and Sammy tag is probably the right move.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'll put the Raw tag title match here alongside that on night one, so we don't have both tag titles on the same night.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic and Rey Mysterio, Bobby. What do you think? I don't know how good that match is going to be. I mean, I think it'll be fine. It's Rey, right? But like, I don't like. Is that like an epic or is it just like a match? What is that? I don't know.
I think they probably will want it to be an epic, but it probably won't get there.
Yeah.
That could probably go. Well, I don't want to put all the bad stuff on night two, though.
Oh, night two has got Roman Cody, Austin Cena. Yeah, I do understand what you're saying, though. We've taken the shine off it a little bit. Right now, night one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. It has 8 matches. Night two has 6 matches. We have 3 matches left. So,
okay.
All right, Bob, you're cool, mate.
I can go on night one.
Dom and Ray, that is, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last two are going to have to go on night two, right? Which is the women's tag title match and Braun and Ricochet.
Yes.
All right. Okay, folks, let's run this down one last time here. This is what Bob and I have come up with for WrestleMania. Now, again, folks, this is a mix of predictions and like an ideal version of those predictions. Because, we can't just come in and be like, yeah, Charlotte's actually in the Battle Royal or whatever. It's just, it's silly, right? Mm-hmm. I think Ronda in the women's tag, honestly, is very wishful thinking, but we'll see. Yeah. Okay, night one looks as follows. We have Roman Reigns versus The Rock. We have Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. Brock Lesnar versus Gunther. Asuka versus Io Sky. Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. Drew McIntyre versus Solo Sikoa. Hurt Business versus the Brawling Brutes. The Street Profits versus the Good Brothers versus Otis and Gable versus DIY. Or, if they're unavailable, the Dream Team of Bronson Reed and The Miz. Finally, we have the family clash, the father versus son affair of Dominic and Rey Mysterio. Night two, we have Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair. Steve Austin versus John Cena. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt versus Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Austin Theory versus Edge. Braun Strowman versus Ricochet. Dakota and Bailey versus Liv and Tegan versus Ronda and Shayna versus Raquel and Shotzi. We may be a match heavy on night one and a match light on night two, but frankly, who could possibly care?
Yeah, it's fine.
Who could possibly care? All right. There you go, folks. Bob, what do you think? Where are we headed to in the world of Fed Dead Redemption? It feels like things are going to get gloomy. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this as regularly as you and I may hope. What do you think?
No. We'll do Deciding the Decade for the Rumble. That's a show we all actually enjoy.
Yes.
But as far as doing this like on a weekly basis, it might get a little tough. I'm going to be honest with you. It's been tough for a couple months, and now it might get even tougher. So,
yeah. Part of the issue is...
I think the thing is, like, we both want to do it. We both enjoy doing this. We both enjoy having a show in this, time slot. But you don't want to force it either.
Well, it's also hard because I often, and Bob, this is like I feel bad for you because it's like even when you wanted to talk about it, it was never, it was always hard to get the right crew. Like, we had Monty here for a while to do it because obviously Monty's king bootlicker. Once did a victory lap live on the air because Tatum Paxley had a good wrestling match. Unbelievable. So, when, Monty could help Oracle's, it's hard for him time-wise, And I don't watch the shows close enough. And Bob knows me well enough to know, and I'd like to think you guys do too, that it's not in like a mean-spirited way where I'm like trying to be an asshole about it. There's not a lot there for me, you know? Look at this from Paul. Look, can you imagine, Bob? Can you imagine getting that message from old Matty? I'm going to message him that after this. I'm like, hey, man, Dark Grinalongs, what do you think? Just get a go fuck yourself, immediately respond. So I don't know, folks. I guess the best thing is let it play out. I think what you'll see is, I think you'll see pay-per-view previews and reviews. Well, you'll see previews. If I think the show fucking sucks, I'm not going to show up for the review because I just make it a miserable experience. It's no fun,
The reviews are tough too, though, with the pay-per-views being on Saturdays now, though, because you don't really want to talk. Sunday we have Fleet Week, and then Monday it's kind of old news by then. So, and you have your other show Monday anyway.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It is difficult. I mean, we'll try and do one for the Rumble. Yeah. Again, if it's like the last Rumble, which I don't think it will be, but if it is, I'm sorry, folks, I can't.
Yeah, we can't do that.
So, yeah, I mean, that's where we're at. I will say on the bright side, if you like a WWE match in particular, because I appreciate, there are a lot of audience that likes WWE and watches WWE. So if you are one of them and you want me to watch a particular match, I am doing frequent reviews over on the Late Night Grim page. Yesterday I did the Usos versus Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, which was a pretty good main event from SmackDown last week. I've already wrote it, but it's going to be probably posted later this week, maybe the weekend. Charlie Dempsey, first time I got a chance to see him, Bob. We had a highly rated match on NXT Level Up. I got a review of that coming. So if you're a fan of WWE product and you see a match that you like or you think I would like or you just want to get my take on, I'll happily write a review. Fed Dead's going to be very infrequent because, I mean, honestly, that kind of mirrors where the products are right now, right? Yeah. I think nothing would have made us happier for this to be like a real destination program. And when it first changed and Triple H in charge, not because he was fucking giant barber or anything, but like, it felt different for a while there, right? It felt like a show that was like relevant and stuff. So we'll see, basically. I guess the best way to close would be, Bob, how you feeling overall, mate? Any final words? Any kind of sweeping conclusion, or just let it play out and hope for the best?
Yeah, I guess all we can really do right now is let it play out, hope for the best. Hope the Rumble's good, and kind of see where we're at after that. Late Night Grin Thursday evening. I believe we don't have shoot this week, which is a bummer, but we will persevere and play through it. And yeah.
Absolutely. Shoot is... Well, he's got some meetings, right? He's got some, he's got some stuff he has to work through, and I have told him before. I think if he's going to book Ring of Honor, he needs to at least respect the product enough to watch the tapes. Yeah, exactly. And I understand him not wanting me to be a part of it, but like you can at least ask my advice. But we don't need to do this in public. We'll see. I've heard very different things about Marina and Athena. Paul, I would love to review it. If it goes the way that some people have told me it went, I will avoid reviewing it out of respect for the great Athena. If it goes as other people have said, then I'll absolutely review it and do a victory lap. Sounds good. Joe, please review Bully Ray versus Josh Alexander. Hard to Kill is Friday. All right, Bob, hold up. I'm going to close this with Impact Talk.
Okay.
This is folks, this is a teaser to see if you guys would actually like the show to become a full-time Impact program. I'm going to read the match to you. You're going to give me a rating out of 10 of what your excitement is. Not cage match, fuck cage match, Your excitement for Hard to Kill. Ready, Bob?
Yep.
The Deaf Dolls versus Giselle Shaw, Savannah Evans, and Tasha Steelz.
5.
Angels, that's Alan Angels, folks, versus Bhupinder Gujar versus Kushida, Mike Bailey, Mike Jackson, and Yuya Uemura. 6-way match pre-show.
Sounds pretty fun. We'll go 6.5 on that.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Indian gentleman, but that sounds like it'd be good. Okay, here we go. Rich Swann versus Steve Macklin, Falls Count Anywhere.
I heard Macklin's pretty good now. I do enjoy a Falls Count Anywhere match, but probably about 3.
My God, what a Rich Swann burial that was. Joe Hendry versus Moose for the Impact Digital Media Championship.
1.
Deonna Purrazzo, Killer Kelly, Masha Slamovich, and Taylor Wilde 4-way match to determine the number 1 contender for the Impact Knockouts title.
Honestly, probably like an 8. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Shane Miguel versus Black Taurus.
5.
The Motor City Machine Guns. Oh, for fuck's sakes. The Motor City Machine Guns versus Heath and Rhino versus the Major Players versus Bullet Club. Because every single pay-per-view tag match has to be a fatal 4-way. We even just booked 2 of them, for fuck's sakes. Elimination, at least. Your excitement level.
6.
Bro, do you know how good... I'm sure they've done it on TV, so I apologize. Motor City Machine Guns versus Ace and Bay. If you give out 20, would be fucking incredible. But,
hell yeah.
You gotta get Rhino on the card. Jonathan Gresham versus Eddie Edwards.
It'll be fine. I wouldn't say I'm excited for it. 4.
Code of Honor. Sorry for hitting my mic there, folks, as I did the Code of Honor. Jordan Grace versus Mickey James. Title versus career.
6.
Josh Alexander versus Bully Ray for the world's title. Full Metal Mayhem. This is Bully Ray's Call Your Shot championship match.
2.
Yeah. Call your shot, though, Bob.
It's true. He's calling a shot.
I want to see the numbers. I want to see the numbers now. What has made them stick with this Friday night ploy? I need to know. Tape Machines loves it. I know that. That's one thing I can confirm. Tape Machines loves the Friday night pay-per-view. There are 2 wrestling shows on Friday.
It's true.
Can you imagine calling up your friend, Bob, and being like, hey, man, you want to come over and watch the Graps on Friday? And he'd be like, what's Graps? And he'd be like, the professional wrestling. What's that? WWE? And he's like, yeah, what are you watching? The stuff that's on Fox? No. Well, I thought we could watch the stuff that's on Fox and then maybe the stuff that's on TNT. Nerd. We're watching with a $40 pay-per-view price. Bring your 20. We're headed to Fight TV to watch some Bubba Ray Dudley. It's sicko behavior. I mean, it's literally Friday Night Wrestling is like a baked-in thing now. You have 2 hours of SmackDown, which is the most watched wrestling show in the world, and then you have This Is Rampage, Baby, which is like, a fine way to end your night. You slow down, you get off the shoot cokes, you go on some Pepsi Max, you finish, you just wind down. I mean, some of these are animals. These people. I mean, what do we? It's literally right there for you. You don't have to pay anything.
Nope, it's crazy.
I don't know, Bob. Oh, it's not for me to say. Listen, to be clear, I've bought worse things, folks. I've bought many Ring of Honor shows. It is what it is. God bless anyone watching it. Hopefully it's good. I may even review it. Fuck it. Bob, any plugs or promotions before we go?
No, I don't think so. Like I said, Late Night Grin Thursday evening, 9 p.m. Eastern. Should be a fun time. I think we'll probably talk about Dynamite. There should be some stuff going on there, and whatever else we get into after that.
Factual. Just want to announce who's there for that show. Also. So, there you go, folks. We'll see you then. Dynamite tomorrow. Big show tomorrow. Man and I are back for the Grin Along, so much to look forward to. If you want me to review a match, DM me on Twitter, DM me on Patreon, wherever works. If we've Twitter, I may be slow on Twitter, but I will definitely see it. Patreon's notification is weird, so if you can do it on Twitter, please do. But tomorrow, I think I've reviewed Josh Woods and Claudio Castagnoli for tomorrow. So there you go. Honor is real and all that good stuff. All right. We appreciate you guys. We hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you tomorrow. Keep grinning. All hail. Enjoy this outro.